Bob Vyland stands today as both a product and a provocation of the political moment. Their punk rap fusion has thrived on confrontation, but an Amsterdam concert has escalated their notoriety from cult punk act to international flashpoint. And the issues now converge. The chants of death to the IDF that drew widespread condemnation at Glastonbury, and their subsequent remarks a few days ago about Charlie Kirk, made days after his assassination, I think have gone a step too far. The problem is when a band or when an entertainer thrives on confrontation, that in the end there comes a point where there just isn't any confrontation available, and the constant headlines about attacking the system become boring. On the one level, this is classic counterculture performance, from the Sex Pistols swearing on live television to NWA railing against police brutality. Musicians have long provoked outrage. Bob Vyland argue that their rhetorical targets systems, their rhetorical outbursts target systems of violence, the Israeli military in Gaza, the political right represented by figures like Kirk, not communities as such. Yet words matter. When a performer tells an audience to find fascists and Zionists in the street, or appears to dismiss the murder of a political activist, the line between criticism and incitement blurs dangerously. The controversy now spills well beyond music. Live Nation, the multinational giant that controls swathes of Britain's live venues, has board members embedded in Trump's political world. Richard Grenell, Trump's envoy and a staunch defender of Kirk, is unlikely to tolerate a band whose rhetoric is seen as hateful. For Live Nation, already under US Department of Justice scrutiny, the calculus is simple. Why risk alienating Trump and his allies for an act of modest commercial value? The logic suggests a UK tour, at least in Live Nation affiliated halls, is precarious and probably off the calendar. Meanwhile, governments are caught between principle and outrage. Lisa Nandy insists British values artistic freedom, but condemns the band's language as hateful. Dutch authorities are divided, with Tilburg cancelling a show in the Netherlands, but nevertheless the Netherlands upholding free expression. This split captures the core dilemma. How far can art test boundaries before it becomes socially corrosive? Bob Vyland may find themselves victims of their own success. The rhetoric that energized fans and catapulted them into headlines may also ensure the collapse of their biggest tour to date. Punk thrives on the idea that band equals authentic. But in a globalized industry tied to Washington politics, the consequences of provocation can be immediate and severe. The saga is less about a single band than about freedom of speech in an era where outrage is instant, corporate structures are transatlantic, and the boundary between artistic protest and political violence is heavily policed. Bob Vyland want to be heard. Now they may discover the cost of being listened to, as indeed Jimmy Kimmel has discovered that cost. Our words have a price. That price must be paid, it seems. And if the words offend the Trump administration, or if the words offend basic principles of dignity and courtesy and civilization, maybe entertainers are on very thin ice if they are pushing at those edges.